right.
period of adulthood where I didn't care about this, but, you know, like off and on, this is a subject that I follow and I care about. And that's kind of always been true. But I would say, like many other reporters who I think have secretly felt that way, we were thrilled that the New York Times finally gave the imprimatur of respectability so you could pitch an editor and get one of these stories out there. And with that in mind, I've been working with a former KCRW public radio host and former Star Ledger reporter named Claude Brodesser-Akner on like a long-form podcast project that will probably almost assuredly be including Chad Underwood and exploring some of these crazy patents that the Navy has put out with Dr. Salvatore Payet that seem to be referencing some, incredibly advanced technology and, exploring why the Air Force has been so reticent to talk about this kind of thing, whereas...
Yeah. Yeah. Where are they? Jeremy, you can jump into this if you like.
Yeah, first of all, look, Matt here, what he's described to me in our recent communications, he's a force of nature. He's going to pull this off. He's collecting data, airspace data. He's fixing the litigate. He's looking to drop UFO bombs like it's a world war. So I'm excited for what Matt's doing. We need credible journalists who are scientific-based, yet open-minded, which is the whole premise of science, right? And I think we have that in Matt. So I'm really excited for what's going to happen now. The reporting systems and all that stuff. I have direct communication with numerous individuals who are currently on deployment. And the big argument they're saying to me is that, I'll give you an exact quote, the Navy reporting protocols have not been implemented. Any new Navy guidelines that I am aware of, none. And I've asked numerous times if such guidelines have been released. It has not been articulated in a practical way. I'm hopeful if new guidelines have been generated, they'll be implemented as soon as possible. So we're all sitting here waiting, man. Pilots are engaging these things. They're a near missing. So it's a very interesting time, and I think, yeah, Matt, I'm real hopeful for what's going to happen with your work, man.
Thanks very much.
Matt, tell me about the litigation. Who are you litigating against? What are you trying to get?
It's with the Navy, actually. This was an idea that came to me from Robert Powell of the Scientific Coalition for UAP Studies.
Yeah.
But many people have tried to file a Freedom of Information Act request with the Navy to get this radar data that we know from the eyewitness testimony of the Princeton crew and from the pilots themselves who have radar on board their Super Hornets. And the answer that comes back typically from the Navy is, these are highly privileged classified systems, and to reveal these would expose our sources and methods to foreign adversaries, that sort of thing. So the idea was to really refine and target this FOIA to just tell us officially the recorded speed and acceleration of the Tic Tac and the other UAPs witnessed by the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group. And under the FOIA law, they have a duty to segregate, which means they have a duty to look over documents, and just because there's classified material in that document, they have to redact it and hand you everything that is rightfully unclassified. So, I don't care if I get 60 pages all black that has the speed and the G-force capabilities when the Tic Tac is accelerating, but that's what I want. And typically with a Freedom of Information Act request, you gotta make the request, deny it, and seemingly without having read your request very well, you appeal, and only after you've been through the appeal process can you actually take them to court. And this guy who is one of their FOIA liaisons, Chris Jolka, who is very helpful with me, said, I think you're probably going to have to litigate this, but you should file the appeal so you can get that process going. And that's where we're at now. The appeal has been denied and taken it to court.
One last point about these skeptics that you've been tangling with, that Jeremy's been tangling with. I think you've made the point before in conversation with Jeremy that, throw darts at the wall, blindfolded about coming up with what it could be, as opposed to going out and finding data to support their position, whatever it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice and plausible, but it is itself pure speculation. And I feel like a great example with Tic Tac is this distant passenger deck, distant fighter jet theory that, kind of Mick West and the Metabunk online forum crowd have really attached themselves to. Right now, I'm trying to source the flight path of any other civilian aircraft that were in kind of like a 222 square kilometer area around the Nimitz at that time. And you can't get it through the FAA anymore because they don't retain it for that long. They have document destruction protocols. For radar, it's 45 days. It's 15 days for radar, it's 45 days for audio, and unless there's like a FOIA or a report somewhere, they destroy it within 6 years. So what I managed to do is I found like a private company that had filed these FOIAs just blanketly across the country, across U.S. airspace for private clients back then, and I'm requesting it from them. And I've put in the order. There's somewhere around 5,315 known flights that went through that patch of the Pacific during the week of December 10th to December 16th, 2004, when, the famous recorded Lear 1 Nimitz Tic Tac sighting occurred, when Dave Fravers occurred, but also the many others that were recorded by the radar, Kevin Day, and all the rest of them.
Well, that's exciting. Matthew, I hope you will come back when your podcast project finds a home and when you're ready to talk more about what your program is and what your findings are. I appreciate you being here and look forward to further collaboration.
Me too. This is an excellent show I've been listening to since the Art Bell days, and it's a pleasure.
Awesome. Matthew Phelan, thanks for joining us. We're talking with Jeremy Corbell. We'll wrap up about the UFO videos here in the next segment and then move on to other subjects, maybe Area 51, S4, Bob Lazar. Who knows where it goes from here? And then we'll be opening up the phone lines. And our pal Robbie Williams takes us into the break right here with a song about a martial artist, an icon, Bruce Lee.
Service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the California Army National Guard. Aired by the California Broadcasters Association at this station.
It'd be nice right about now to get away from it all. That place could be your own backyard if you let System Savers bring your outdoor dreams to life. Pavers, barbecue islands, lighting, curves, water features, and more. Pavers has 18 months special financing, so you can get started right now before summer slips away. Schedule your free design contest today and start creating the staycation of your dreams. Call System Savers at 800-AVE-004. That's 800-EAVE-004. Or go to System Savers. The following program will be recorded.
anything else, towing a trailer with a chain that might be hanging down that could create a spark.
12 homes have been destroyed, 21 others damaged. Evacuations are still in effect for Lake Hughes Road, west of Pine Canyon, and north of Dry Gulch Road, east of Ridge Route Road, west of Lake Hughes Road, Fire Station 78, north of Pine Canyon, and Lake Hughes Road, all evacuated, and south of Highway 138. That's the site of Highland High School. Riverside County Sheriff's Department arrested a man in connection with a double shooting in Eastvale. Deputies say Rahman Hunter shot and killed his wife and injured his son. Deputies found a woman and teenage boy around 1 yesterday morning with gunshot wounds. The woman died. The team was taken to the hospital and is expected to survive. White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows says he accepts that California Senator Kamala Harris is eligible to be vice president.
I'm more concerned with Kamala Harris's liberal ideas coming from San Francisco to the rest of America than I am where she was born or anything else.
President Trump had refused to knock down the theory that she wasn't able to serve as VP. Harris's parents are immigrants, and she was born in Oakland. But Chapman University professor John Eastman wrote a piece in Newsweek that questioned whether Harris was eligible to be just one heartbeat away from the presidency. The response against Eastman's piece led editors at Newsweek to apologize. National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien says more agreements are being made with Israel since news of a peace deal with the United Arab Emirates.
There's momentum for some additional parties to join and to normalize relations with Israel.
O'Brien says the Israel-UAE deal could mean progress between the Israelis and Palestinians in efforts to make peace. He also says the U.S. getting out of the Iran nuclear deal was the foundation for the peace agreement between Israel and the UAE. Southland weather from KFI, clear and warm through the morning, lows around 70. Gradual clearing by midday today and hot again. Mid-80s at the beaches, mid-90s, Metro LA, Orange County. Still above 100, maybe 105 in Empire in the valley. A couple degrees hotter through midweek and back down a bit on Friday. Right now only going to be 62, Orange 67, Santa Clarita 69, Resina 68 degrees. Leaving local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom, I'm Michael Crozier.
South El Monte, this is on the 16 westbound. Those full hard to Finley. Caltrans going to be taken away with 3 red lanes until 5 in the morning. Watch for slowing through Santa Anita. Oil Heights, Kansas, this earlier crash on the dead westbound after 5 has been cleared. Your drive is recovering from Soto, Ontario. This is on the 16 bound at Road Crash and emergency crews of the 2 left lanes there. Your drive stop and go from Euclid Avenue. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Brian Beck.
Here, I've been thinking about the idea of you're expecting us, Elliot. Inside, he said, and the end of the word to get from here back around here.
Remember, people, all you have to do is point.
And your house will be a home again.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
Or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
The Pete and Sebastian Show. Pete Corielli and Sebastian Maniscalco. The weekly podcast with 2 A-list comedians talk about anything and everything.
I can't fight my way. But you're going to go laugh with the best.
Have you ever self-diagnosed your own x-ray? Like Pete, I look out when the dentist is gone. Listen to the Pete and Sebastian Show on the iHeartRadio app. It's exciting! Or wherever you get your podcast.
Hey, are you thinking about buying a new car, getting a home, or refinancing your current home? Well, starting at ScoreMaster.com could save you hundreds, even thousands of dollars on your loan. ScoreMaster is the new credit science that moves your credit score. Look at raising your credit score a few points every year. Actually, the average KMI ScoreMaster user raises their credit score 61 points in 20 days or less. Say your credit score was in the high 500s to the mid 600s when you bought that new car. Well, if you go to ScoreMaster first and raise your credit score to just the average 61 points users are getting, that would have saved you $9,000 for a loan. $9,000! Say your credit score was in the 600s when you applied for a home loan. Again, if you'd gone to ScoreMaster first, you could have saved almost $100,000 over the life of your loan. $100,000. You If you own a business, go to ScoreMaster to see how super boosting your business credit score can save you a fortune. Visit ScoreMaster.com/Tim. ScoreMaster.com/Tim.
Hi, this is Larry Miller from Assistantly. You're in a coronavirus pandemic. Our entire Assistantly family is at honor. You know we have teachers that are trusted by the safe, caring environment to your family. When you shop in store, online at Assistantly.com, you can save hundreds. Like this is free for 12 months. And try our new hybrid Infinity mattress with over $250 less than a Casper hybrid. Thanks again for trusting Assistantly during these stressful times. It means the world to us. KFI everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk. KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk.
That song in a while, but I don't even recognize who it is. It's Eric Burton piano. The song is called White Houses. Commentary for its time. And Eric Burton, I heard him for the show 2 years ago. He's still got the pipes. Talking with Jeremy Corbell in a moment, we'll sort of wrap up our discussion of the three UFO, UAP videos released by the Pentagon, at least until the phones open up, and then we can talk about whatever you want. In this segment coming up, we're going to get into Jeremy's films, Hunting Skinwalker, the Bizarre film. If you think that deep
Are those lights down there?
Pentagon videos,
They're a little 4 inches?
You can imagine what he's dealt with since those films have been released. And then in this hour, towards the bottom of the hour,
right,
open up the phone line, see what's on your mind. We'll be right back with more Coast to Coast AM.
I was sitting there, I was like, because I seen it, I was like,
You're on the edge all day, you sleep poorly at night, and if that's your new normal, you'd be watching.
What happened to your bumper?
Now you've heard the potential health
Somebody hit it?
benefits of CBD, right? Very impressive. CBD is the powerful extract from cannabis, but it's legal. There's no high. You do not need a
Damn, that
prescription
sucks.
from the experts I trust, CBDistillery.com, but does it work? In
Yeah.
a survey, 90% of the customers reported they sleep better with CBD. 90% and 80% said
Go to
CBD helps with discomfort.
carparts.com. You can order the parts, and then all you have to do is basically paint them. Get it painted, but they have the parts pretty inexpensive. So.
Order now and save 20%. That's right, 20% at CBDistillery.com. Enter code NORD. CBDistillery.com, code NORD. Again, that's CBDistillery.com, code NORD. Not available in Idaho, Iowa, and South Dakota.
Guys, waking up over and over to pee is not okay. But now you can
get a truck.
Those nighttime bathroom trips.
I've always been trucks and vans because cars.
We're talking about less urges to pee at night, less bathroom trips during the day, and better bladder emptying. That's why Beta Prostate.
You can get a. You don't have to get a new one. You know what I mean?
You can try a full 30-day bottle free. Just pay shipping and handling.
Yeah.
No strings attached and no commitments to buy.
You can do that. You can get them that. Go to you want to do that? Go to Carfax. You know they have an app, and you can buy the used cars on it. It'll tell you what's going on with the car.
like
My
Walmart.
brother,
But for
I
this,
told
no
him
strings
because he wanted to go
attached,
camping and he was gonna
must
buy an
call now.
SUV.
Call 1-800-483-6019.
And he was looking on something, and I was like, dude, why don't you just go to Carfax? And he bought a fucking, he bought a SUV, $3,400. He paid cash for the thing, and it's a 2016. I was like, something got to be wrong. He's like, no, dude, you told me what to do. Fucking looked Carfax it up. I'm like,
Corbell, that was great having Matthew on to talk about
all right, bro.
battles with debunkers, in particular about these videos he's talking about. Do you want to wrap that up? We might come back to it when the phones open up, but is there anything else you want to say about the battles with debunkers over those videos? And by the way, as in a matter of context, skepticism is a good thing. You need it in this field. There's a lot of crazy stuff that we have off as fact. So asking questions and digging for answers and trusting people because it's wild the fact that when skeptics and debunkers does the thing you defend a position that has no basis in fact.
Yeah, they're reductionist, insanity, and they're being exposed and better put on their big boy pants because now everybody's seeing that there's an agenda-driven dialogue with these really thieving debunking attempts. They're just trying to prove anything other than the unknown. It truly is an existential crisis, and we're seeing people kind of cry on Twitter about it. I will say this, I've got some of my best sources out of Twitter. That it wants a vote again. I understand reaching out to people want to think underline this. It is unbelievable. People want to know the truth. So look, Twitter can cry, they can spend all day, but why it's useful? It's useful to know what people think and what they don't think. So I spent tonight, I never want to see people like horrifically trying to tear me apart. I thought, man, maybe there's some good debunking in here. Let me check this out. Man, it what Joe was doing. He was very aggressive towards the UFO topic for a while because, like you and I have experienced, this is pretty much BS.
probably not get the story that they hoped to get. They ran into some editorial interference, but hats off to them for getting it done and getting it into the mainstream where other publications, other media organizations are the idea that we got good material and maybe technology from somewhere beyond the one that made by us.
Yeah, you and I both know that is indeed fact, and of course it's a heavy lift. You know, the legal editorial of the New York Times, they hats off to Ralph and Lexi. They knocked down the ballpark, and they went as far as they possibly could, and it's important that the American public knows it, and it's looking for we talked to Bob